We did run electroacoustic analyses and probe microphone measurements at different world volume and treble bass settings for the hearing aids. Results were as expected, so pretty good, other than the directionality issue that I mentioned before. If you want to see the details, look for a post in Tuniversity called Objective Measurements for the Bose hearing aids. These are our ANSI results. We were only able to squeak out about 106 dB for maximum OSPL 90, but this could be due to the stimuli being pure tones. These hearing aids have inherent feedback cancellation built into their DSP, and we can't disable it. All other parameters looked good. Insertion gain was from -10 to 22 dB depending on the world volume and treble bass settings. The green line shows insertion gain for when the world volume and bass are both set to 50, so you see more gain in the lows and up to 19 dB of gain at 500 Hz, actually. The blue line shows insertion gain with world volume at 38 and treble set to 25, which actually amplifies greater than NAL-NL2 targets for a mild to moderate sloping hearing loss. Insertion gain reaches up to 22 dB at 4K and is negative in the lows, which is what we'd expect. Occlusion effect was minimal with closed domes. Noise reduction showed about 10 dB of reduction using the air conditioner noise across the spectrum in the coupler, although on the ear, the noise reduction was only really found in the mid-frequencies. This could be due to some slit leaks or maybe probe mic placement, though our VeriFit 2 did show optimal probe mic placement. Regardless, you are indeed getting noise reduction. Directionality. These graphs essentially show gain for sound coming from the rear speakers in the test box versus gain from speech sound coming from the front speakers. Here you see little difference when the hearing aids are in everywhere mode or omnidirectional versus a difference here of roughly 10 dB when they're in the front focus mode. Like mentioned before, the differences for the left hearing aid were minimal, suggesting a problem with the mics there. But for the right hearing aid, the directionality is pretty impressive. Targets, everyone's favorite. The Bose hearing aids can come pretty close to NAL-NL2 targets, which is to be expected because the algorithms are designed off of NAL-NL2 targets. For a mild sloping to moderate audiogram, I was able to get within 4 dB or better for most targets within maybe 10 seconds of playing around with the settings for soft, medium, and loud input levels. For a ski slope loss, which I did out of curiosity, it was expectedly more difficult to match high-frequency targets without overdoing the lows and the mids. I only performed speech mapping for a couple of audiograms, but Oaktree performed speech mapping for a bunch of audiograms and found that the Bose hearphones could actually fit targets up to moderately severe hearing losses. The Oaktree PSAP Objective Measurement Protocol, which you can find on their website, recommends running the devices straight out of the box, but since the default settings for these hearing aids are 0 across the board, I didn't do this. The takeaway for the objective measurements is that the hearing aids perform really well, and you can definitely adjust settings so that they match targets pretty impressively, at least for a mild to moderate sloping audiogram. To sum up, these could be an excellent device for those who have mild to moderate hearing loss, who want things to be simple, who aren't able to go and see an audiologist in person all the time, and who want good quality sound. To my audio engineering ears, they, dare I say it, have a slightly smoother and higher fidelity sound quality than other traditional hearing aids that I've listened to. And since they're fully, truly self-fitting hearing aids, you can totally do a fitting session through Tuned. So if your patient has good enough dexterity to handle a RIC hearing aid, these are a solid recommendation. There's a 90-day return window, so you've got a lot of time to test them out and try them out and work with your patient. These are Tuned approved devices.